How you doing? This is Erick from HA America's Helping Americans and Amp Live. How are you doing today? Hopefully you're rocking and rolling, getting ready for the weekend, getting ready to tear up that market and go after some of those deals, right? There's all kinds of stuff. So welcome to the live. I'm going to be your host today for the Amp Live Real Estate Show. You can hashtag get Erick Paul, find videos and all that other good stuff. But we're inside the exclusive private Facebook group, SUBTO Master. It's a new group that's being launched for 2024. There's also the Creative Real Estate Investing Group with Amp Live and Erick Paul, myself, and others. You're going to go in there and just be active, get active, or if you're looking for deals, things of that nature. But I wanted to come on here and talk about some stuff, right? SUBTO. That's all we're going to talk about today. And right now, within this live Facebook group, so we're going to talk about some stuff that's going on, some deals that are going on, and the pipeline from here, throughout the United States as well. Got my coffee, got my water. If you got questions, there is a link. Now, it's inside the Facebook group. If you're able to get into the Facebook group and you're seeing this, awesome. Go ahead and do the likes and the loves and go ahead and reach out. If I'll throw on my glasses here, if someone shows up, you got some questions, go ahead and do the chat thing, and we'll go back and forth. There's also going to be a link in there. So if you want to show your mug, you want to show your face, you want to get on this live and get interactive, and you want to ask questions and things of that nature, you got deals to share, maybe you got properties to share, or you're stuck on a deal, or you're trying to figure out, man, I got some deals in the pipeline, but I just don't know why they're selling, or I don't know what to do with them, or whatever it may be, because there's a lot of stuff going on right now with deals, right? People are looking forward to this, so I'm going to be talking right now. I talk a little bit fast, and sometimes I'll slow it down, but if I got an agenda in my brain, right, it's not like a physical agenda, because it's always live and uncut. Every once in a while, I'll have something written out and kind of follow a little bit of an overview of some sort. But right now, we're just going live, right? We're just going to keep it real. And let me see what we got here. We're just going to keep it real. There'll be some QR codes that'll pop up. Go ahead and join right there. That's the Facebook group. You can join that if you're in another group, or if this is live and it's being recorded, you can go right there and take a look and scan that QR code. I believe it's right there. Boom. It'll get you into the Facebook SUBTO Master Group. And I'm going to go ahead and pull something up real quick. I'm going to go ahead and pull this. I'm going to pull this up. It's the Amp Live Real Estate Show. And we got the SUBTO group. And that's what we're doing right now. So that's join the SUBTO Facebook group. So if you see this floating around somewhere, just go ahead and join. But we're going to talk about some stuff, right? We got some deals that are in the pipeline, some cool stuff, SUBTO buyouts, right? We're talking a little bit about SUBTO 101. Now, there's a little disconnect. I get it. There's some stuff out there. There's things you got to talking to a few people today and going, hey, I have YouTube University, TikTok, a lot of little shorts and all that good stuff, trying to figure out a puzzle, right? I always compare it to like a puzzle. So you want to put a puzzle together and you throw all the pieces on the table, and then you look at the picture, and then you got someone turns around and flips that picture the other way, and then says build puzzle. Right? It could be a little bit of a pain in the ass putting that stuff together. You'll figure it out eventually, right? But there's a better way. It's a lot easier when you turn that around. You can look at the picture and you can figure out the pieces and then get the puzzle done, right? And then, work from the outside and then work in. There's a little method. There's a little process, a couple of steps, a little recipe on how to do puzzles a little quicker and things of that nature. It's the same thing with every business, same thing with real estate, same thing with subject to existing financing or SUBTO. Now, SUBTO is just that, SUBTO, subject to existing financing, subject to the taxes, subject to do whatever the hell we write and put inside the addendum is what it's subject to, right? So subject to and seller financing, they're two different things. So a lot of people have that misconception that, hey, SUBTO is always going to be low equity, or SUBTO is going to be buy and hold. SUBTO is going to be seller finance, right? And it's really not. For me, it was SUBTO is SUBTO. It's to buy the deal. Am I buying the deal? I'm going to buy it cash, or I'm buying it terms. I'm buying to some bitch no matter what, because I'm putting it into a trust. We're going to control the property. We're going to control the asset, or the LLC is going to control the property and the asset through a trust, become the trustee and beneficiaries of the property. As I always say, if that son of a bitch burns down, the LLC controls the trust, and the trust vice versa. They'll get the check. And then you'll be able to cash that check, right? You'll be able to get a loan against it, because there is certain things that people are doing out there, but they're doing like pieces of, right? Kind of like piecework. Hey, we'll go ahead and do a novation. Then we're going to go ahead and do a power of attorney or attorney in fact, and blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it gets gets past escrow. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it gets passed through title, and sometimes it doesn't. You have to maneuver and change things up a little bit, or you have to do a simultaneous closing, or just a closing one after another. You close it and then fucking close again to someone else. I get it, but sub 2 is just, if you go with subject to, I always say go for equity. A lot of people are doing, the 10% stuff, the 5% stuff, willing to pay 100% or 110 or 105% over whatever retail is, as long as the entry, because I'm hearing that a lot, right? Hey, what's the entry? What's the entry? Who gives a shit about the entry? I get it. If you're going to buy it and you want to cash flow it, cool. Hopefully it works out when the market takes a shit and your property goes from 500 to 200 or 250. Well, that it is what it is. The equity's there, but as long as the rent and the nut gets taken care of, and you got $1,000 payment, and people are paying $2,000, or at least enough to take care of your mortgage payment, the expenses, etc., then you'll be good to go. And you just have to ride that son of a bitch out for the next 4 or 5, probably the next 5, 10, 15 years to get to that point. So the market readjusts, goes through the foreclosures, short sales, REOs, and then bottoms out. And then you got to wait for it 1, 2, 3, 4 years for it to start going back up again, so you can start building that equity all over again, right? Because that's what happens in every cycle. Every real cycle is about 10 to 15, 20 years, sometimes 25, depending on the economics and what's happening in the economic world. And then you got little micro, right? Little micro, what I call a little micro, that's what I'm looking for. The micro cycles, right? It's been a long day, right? It's all right. We got a long day, got the coffee. So I'm going to get jacked up on this coffee here and just keep on rocking and rolling. Espresso too, right? Do a shot or two, boom, pop it in there. We're working with some sellers and helping our fellow Americans, and they had some awesome coffee. I call it the AFTAB coffee. It's pretty cool. And, but it's just regular coffee and some tea and a little bit of cinnamon and some carnation milk. It's lovely, tasty thing. It tastes European, right? It's like a European type of drink. It's pretty cool. But anyways, good people that we're meeting. I'm going to tell you some of the stories of what's happening while we're doing the sub 2 stuff, right? So we're doing sub 2. We're always going in no matter what. I get it, right? You're going to buy the property. You want to wholesale it, fix, flip, buy, hold, sell it off to another investor. You can sell at a higher amount if you're putting it together sub 2. And that's only if they understand what sub 2 means, because at the end of the day, you can do it. Get it locked up, put it in sub 2, subject to existing financing, or just get the contract, wholesale it off to another investor. They're the ones that are going to do the paperwork for sub 2 or seller finance. If they want to do that, that's fine. Go for it. I like to have control of the property. We like to have control of the property. So we'll put that property into a trust for legal tax purposes, control it, and then sell it off to another investor, or bring in investors to get the thing fixed and flipped or buy and hold, because a lot of different exit strategies are present now before they weren't, right? So when there was sober living, halfway houses, same stuff, right? There's housing for disabilities, and there's housing for vets, right? There's housing for obviously now traveling nurses, assisted living, and big facilities would take care of that. But now they have like bigger houses, and then they would have assisted living where people go to pass, right? And those are happening as well. I guess someone calls them RALs. I forgot what they're called. There's a guy out there who's really good at it, right? He's rocking and rolling, older guy who trains that stuff, which is a beautiful thing. If you can find those built houses, or the houses that are bigger than they need to be, then those are perfect for that. Either Airbnb, traveling nurses, co-living, right? And all that type of good stuff is the way to go. Subject to does that, right? We're having a conversation with some other investors as well in regard to those investors of saying, cash. I got cash. Going, okay, cool. We got $300,000 cash. If we find the right deals, depending on where they're at, Southern California, East Coast, then we could probably buy 3 properties, right? $100,000 each, control them, make up the back payments, fix them up, put them back on the market, or keep them and hold them. If that's the case, if you're just flipping, then it's just to get in and get out and use smaller amounts of dollars where you don't have to go pay that hard money price, right? And get yourself one of those, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Those jacked up sandwiches, right? That you got to eat, right? Because you got to pay the points. You got to pay for the paperwork. There's a place and time for hard money. If you get a super, super hot rock and roll deal, then why not go for it, right? It's like playing with Monopoly money. If you're willing to give up your 20, 25% of the bottom line, go for it. Why not get it done, right? So I'm going to go ahead. 1 second. Got the mic back on. Here we go. More coffee. Yeah. Got some dirty water right here. No, I'm just kidding. It's water. I say dirty water because it's inside of a plastic container. But going live on all the channels 9 times out of 10. Right now, it's inside the private Facebook groups. So to make it a little more intimate, like I said, if you're in the Facebook group SUBTO, the Creative Real Estate Investment Group, or the AMP Live Meetup Group, you'll be watching this, and you can actually, there'll be some links in there, I believe. And if there are, click them. Let's talk, let's chat. Or if you want to just chime in, go for it, and we'll get any of those questions answered for you. But let's check this out. We're gonna pull. Oh, is it up? I think I got it here, right? Boom, right there. Okay. So there's for an example, right? There's a hot deal right here that's in Southern California. There's some that are in the Midwest, right? And in Texas, New Mexico, Ohio, Missouri. There's some stuff in Florida that's a little different out there. Things are moving in good areas, and then some things are not moving in other areas. And sellers, yes, are wanting more for their property, but that's if it's traditional and it was on the market, and then it's not on the market, and then they're going to hang tight, and they're going to wait maybe till January, February, or they're going to hold out, or they're just like, hey, we're just going to have to relist because they overpriced. The agent jumped the gun, the seller jumped the gun, and priced those at too high of an amount, and the market's shifting and adjusting and adapting. The property will sell for what the market calls for. 9 times out of 10, that's how it works, right? But it is what it is. So deals are there, on market, off market, and right now, because the way the market's going back and forth, you're going to find that agents are willing to work with investors, work with creative real estate investors, and they're willing to go SUBTO or seller financing on some of these deals. Because a lot of times they got a property a couple years ago, maybe 2019, 2020, 21, 22, and obviously it's already at retail, and they got a decent interest rate, and they need to sell, and it's going to be listed, and the only one that's going to make that money is going to be the real estate agent or the broker, and then the seller has to pay to sell that son of a bitch. But if we come in and provide a solution to them and said, hey, we can go ahead and do this thing, pay the agent their fee, and it don't always have to be the 6%, 4%. It's going to be whatever, like one side. If they brought the buyer, awesome. If they didn't bring obviously, if you're talking to them, then you are the one that's going to be buying it, or whoever you're working with. So then they found you as the procuring buyer, right? They procured you. So that means they get to justify their commission, which is great. Get them paid, right? Get them paid whatever you can work out in the numbers. And at the same token, the seller will hopefully not have to pay any money, maybe even get a couple of bucks, maybe even get a check every month of some sort. And it solves everybody's problems, right? Now, I like to go with properties. That's just me. I like to find those properties that have equity. And I still have it in my mind. It's embedded in my freaking head from my mentor. And that was basically, you make your money when you buy it. So if you buy it right, then, you can't go wrong. Because if you got to dump the son of a bitch, you can make money. If you do what needs to be done, kind of, sort of, you still make money. If you really do what needs to be done, then you're going to make all the money. And as long as you have your 3, 4, 6 month pad, depending on where it is and where it's located and the situation. And if it's a 3-month pad and you get it done in 3 months, awesome. If it goes past 3 months, then it starts hitting your bottom line. And the hard money thing is awesome. There is a place for it, right? If you got an awesome deal at 60, 65 cents on the dollar, and maybe 70, the LTV is there, then use that money, right? Use the money if you can go ahead and get that. You still got to put some money down, unless you can get a private investor to loan you 100%, which is rare, unless you have a relationship with them. And even if you construct this deal and go that route, I would say if you go SUBTO, you're not going to obviously need the hard money. So you won't have to pay the points, you won't have to pay for the paperwork, you won't have to pay the 10% because you're going to have an interest rate that's going to be a 2, 3, 4% interest rate. And you'll avoid, you're going to have to, take care of some title stuff, take care of a little bit of the escrow stuff, the EMD and things of that nature, depending on how you do it. If you build relationships with your investors, your friendship, we like to call them friendship investors, right? Friendship deal investors, then they'll write a check and you write a check back to them. You can go ahead and do that. Some will wire transfer funds to you. Some will do a promissory note. Some will do a second. Others, if you're doing the first, it is what it is. That's your first trust deed investors. That's going to be your hard money, right? That's different. They want to make sure that's done, and they want to check every month, right? It's very rare that they're going to do a moratorium for 3 or 6 months, right? or it's going to be 1% per month, or it's going to be 10% for the whole year, and prepayment penalty if we pay it off within 3 years. There's all kinds of ways of doing it, but let's get back to the SUBTO 101. Subject to existing financing. What the hell does that mean? How does it work? You may know and you may not. I don't know how long you've been in the business and where you're at in this business, but when you start moving forward, you'll see that subject to is a beautiful thing. It doesn't have to be subject to seller finance unless you're going to keep it, right? It's not always about keeping it. It's about controlling the asset, right? Controlling the asset, and yes, writing a contract. But the reason why I did that and started doing that a long time ago and continue to do so, and why it's one of our favorites, because at the end of the day, yeah, it's a couple more steps, but when you are a professional and you're expert and you get it done quick and fast, then it's not a bunch of steps. It's almost like a process, right? It's the way that things have to be done for us. How they're done for you, it is what it is. Everybody has their process, but this works beautifully simply because there's a lot of things that protect. It protects the seller, protects the investors, protects the bank. And yes, people will dispute it and they'll say this, they'll say that. There's a lot of whiners and crybabies out there. And yeah, I'm going to say it. I've been getting on the horn and, talking to new buyers, right? Because we're making new friends, got new inventory or just inventory. So as we send it out to the people that are on our list, people we know, but there's new people that we're bringing aboard and talking with because gearing up for 2024, gearing up for the new real estate cycle, right? So you have to adjust, adapt, or you will perish. We say, let's rock, and that's what we're doing. So we're going after new buyers, and yeah, I don't usually get involved. I don't have to unless there's a buy order or an investor wants, hey, I need 5, 10, 15, 20 properties or commercial property. We get in. I have a conversation with them. But the contract conversation is because they're in the business, and it's mutual, right? The golden rule. Here's something for you. It's called the golden rule. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's in Think and Grow Rich. It's something that went back to the 1800s and the 1900s. It's based on character. It's called the golden rule. And what is the golden rule? Treat others as you would like to be treated, right? If you get treated like shit, then you have the authority and the right to treat them like shit, right? Or not. Pick your battles. Had that conversation with the mentee today. He's kicking some butt. Awesome guy. But the bottom line is that if someone's doing that, then hey, it is what it is, right? Turn your other cheek or move on or do whatever. I say, stand your ground, do what you need to do, right? It's like two people in a ring, right? They're going to have a pissing contest and see who's going to win and beat each other up. And someone's going to come out, smelling like a rose and someone's not, right? I always say he or she who has the deal makes the rules, not the one with the money, not the buyer, right? Not the investor. Because at the end of the day, it's he who has the product. It's he who has the bag of gold, right? It's he who or she who has the piece of real estate. Okay, if you got an awesome piece of real estate at an awesome price, then you get to dictate who you decide to do business with. You get to dictate who the investor is. All those things. We're qualifying the seller, we're qualifying the buyer, we're qualifying the investor. Is it a longer jam? Yeah, but it's going to outlast, guarantee it, probably 95% of the people that are in this business right now going through the next cycle. Only a handful usually make it. Even the gurus of last cycle are not here. Some are. Some have made it. Some are having rebirths and coming back here and there and figuring things out, right? And then this new cycle, same shit. Whoever's the gurus now, the next cycle when it hits may or may not be here. 95% of them will be gone. 95% of the agents and brokers and real estate investors and wholesalers will be gone. And new, batch will merge and grow. And I know it. We're there last cycle, we're here this cycle, and we're going to be here the next cycle, and maybe another cycle, as long as God allows me and us to do what we need to do, right? In God we trust, rock and roll and all what you do. That's my favorite term. But keep that in mind, okay? That it's super important, right? We've all lost our moral compass, so you got to keep rocking and rolling. Yes, it can get tiring. Yes, you get beat up in the industry. Yes, there's jerks, and there's buttholes, and there's arses and biatches and all kinds of stuff, right? But you got to frame it as a PMA, positive mental attitude, to kill the negative mental attitude, right? So you can keep on rocking and rolling. That's what business is about. Trust me, it's a lifestyle. I had that conversation with a few other people that are investors, have been in business for a while, a couple of decades, said the same thing. It's a lifestyle, right? It's not a job. It's not a career. It's something that you adapt to and becomes part of your life, part of your core, and you move forward. And if you get obsessed like we are, what we do, you just get obsessed with it. You could talk about it 24 hours a day. You could rock it 24 hours a day. You can sleep, wake. It doesn't matter. It's in your core. It's part of your DNA. It's become, right? Part of your DNA. It's almost like a reprogramming of your mind, your body, and soul. So it's an awesome, beautiful thing. Real estate is awesome if you just keep rocking and rolling, depending on how you frame it. And yes, it can help you do other things and help you fuel your passions and things of that nature. But sub 2 is the key. Creative real estate investing is the umbrella. Sub 2 is a component. Seller finance is a component. Options are a component. Seller, right? Lease options are a component. Rent to own is a component. Anything that is creative and that's unorthodox is a component of creative real estate investing, right? And even in the commercial, you can call it creative real estate, but in the commercial business now and even before, people do options, right? Trump and all those guys, all the big guys who do real estate, right? They would do an option on a property, but they'd pony up. They get some money for investors, boom, pony it up. They'll build all the schematic and say, we're going to build this in the metropolis and blah, 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 blah. Then they'll turn around and sell that to someone else, right? And make their buckaroos, execute the option because they put money down. And if they don't execute and do all the stuff that they need to do, their inspections and everything and engineering and things of that nature for these big ass projects, then they would go ahead and go, okay, cool. If they don't make the deadline, they're going to lose their buckaroos. They're going to lose their dollars, right? Lots of dollars, millions. But if they do, then they turn around, sell it to someone else, right? It's almost like wholesaling. They're going to wholesale that giant project, but they're putting money into the project. Think of it as almost like fixing and flipping a property, but it's riskier for them. But if they know what they're doing and they, all that stuff is part of doing business, and then they sell that off, execute the option, and then sell it to another investor to make their money. So the same thing with wholesaling, right? You're going to get a contract, and then you're going to go ahead and sell off the contract to another investor. Some people will get stuck, and some people do it, right? Oh, I'm going to fix this, do that. It's kind of like novations. If you agree upon it, take over the mortgage payment or promise to take over the mortgage payment, promise to pay them a certain amount of money. Don't clean this, don't do that. I will clean it up. I'll spend some money. I'll do this. So it's a way to control the property. Go ahead and list it and then resell it. That can work, right? For me, it's just a little bit more riskier, right? I'd rather have the comfort and be able to sleep at night, have the investor sleep at night, the seller sleep at night, knowing that, hey, the sellers don't got to worry about jack diddly squat. We come in, or you or an investor comes in, and whether it's going to be a fix and flip, whether you get that son of a bitch at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 cents on the dollar, it doesn't matter. Always go sub 2. Why not? If you're going to wholesale it, that's one thing, right? But if you really want to get more money and control the son of a bitch so you can actually, wholesale it at a higher amount because of the work that you've done, then you can do that and control the property, get it recorded, put it in a trust and all that good stuff. And now you control the property. And then you got to obviously raise the capital and do what you need to do to pay off the seller. If it's going to be a foreclosure, reinstate. If it's not going to be reinstated, just going to do some seller financing, pay your seller what they're going to get, and then go ahead and fix it, flip it, buy, hold it, do whatever arbitrage you're going to do with the interest rate or whatever, and be done with it, right? Otherwise, you can just wholesale it. You can still sell it as a sub 2 seller finance, but whoever's going to buy it's going to go and put it in a trust, and then they're going to control it. They're going to pay everybody's money, the seller, do what we need to do to get paid. You get paid, and then they're going to go ahead and find a buyer that who wants seller finance, and then they will seller finance them, do a wrap, an all-inclusive deed of trust deed or whatever it is customary. That's what it is here in California, and then get the title and all that good stuff and close it, charge them a certain rate, get a percentage down, and then boom, go from there. So, and then you could hire a servicer to collect the payments and all that good stuff, right? As you know, the big banks have servicers, and that's what they use. Use the same thing. There's escrow companies and title companies and companies out there, servicing companies that will service those loans for you if you go that route, right? Which is where you usually going to go when you start moving down the road or down the wire for properties. Usually start off as a bird dog, get into some wholesaling, then you start going, man, I got to figure out how to fix and flip and buy and hold. Maybe use some traditional stuff to get started, and then you're going to use some hard money, and then you go, man, I can only buy so many properties traditional. Hard money is costing a lot of money, and it's hitting my bottom line. Unless you find all those awesome juicy deals, then you can just use hard money all day long, right? As long as they're willing to lend and the LTV is there. So that works too. And if you're okay with that, then go for it. Why not, right? As long as there's enough money in it if you buy it right. And then there comes hey, I want to do some subs two stuff, right? I want to make some friends. I want to build a private bank. I want to talk to some private investors and say, look, I only need $60,000 to do this deal. Or You can get a hard money loan and get a first trusted investor. They're going to come in and say, hey, I need 460 or 560,000 to do this deal. And, you're going to need the money for the down. You're going to need money for the rehab. You're going to need money for the holding costs and all that good stuff. It's going to add up, right? And everybody's going to go back and forth about numbers and this and that. The bottom line is just make sure you vet your investors and say, hey, put them in that box of where they need to be. Is it cash 50,000, 100,000 that you need to make on every deal? Is it 10%, 15%, 20% return on investment net within the next 3 months, 6 months? What is it, right? Find out that criteria. It's just going to help you. But SUBTO is a lovely, lovely, awesome thing to do. We love it. It is a little bit more work. You find yourself an attorney, or you can find someone who knows how to put these trusts together and, rinse and repeat. And usually title companies, you talk to the legal department in different states, and sometimes you got to massage it and do certain things. You're always going to have all your stuff signed, all your disclosures, right? The trust, all the agreements and everything get done. If title or escrow wants something special, then get it done. Pay the extra buckaroos to get it done, and then you got a boiler template, rinse and repeat with that title company, escrow company. Go to a different state if you're doing stuff in different states. Then just be mindful, or just be aware that some things are customary, some things are not customary, and other companies are closing agents and they want stuff done a certain way. And if they're getting it done, they're okay with it, and shit, use their stuff. Just make sure you read it and make sure you know what you're getting into, because that's the thing that about subject to existing financing. You do want to become a clause and contract freak, right? You should know those things if you're going to get into subject to existing financing, or you are SUBTO period or creative real estate investing. You need to know those things, because if you don't, then you're going to get stuck and you're going to hit some roadblocks, and it's going to cost you some money over a period of time. And it's just a matter of time before, something happens at the end of the day. So very, very important to study your ass off and understand what a trust is, right? Understand the disclosures, understand what subject to existing financing is, understanding the market and the situation, the salary, being able to position and structure deals based on that. So hopefully that kind of helps with the real estate 101, or SUBTO 101, I should say, right? Where SUBTO can be done no matter what, whether you got it 40, 50, 60, 80, 90 cents on the dollar, you can roll it, you can control it, and you can sell it off. You can sell percentages off. You can do percentages or whatever you need to do, and then let somebody else do the deal. You get paid, table closing. Don't recommend too much on the escrow unless they understand and really know how to do creative real estate. They could be closing agents and the title. Certain things that you have to do, if you don't do them right, will set off red flags to the bank, will set off red flags to insurance, and all kinds of different things can happen. And then a little domino effect can happen. And that's what you want to avoid, right? So, it's just knowing what needs to be done, the little type of intricacies of things that need to happen when you're doing those type of transactions. That's why the older dogs that over a period of time, they've done it for so long, I just go cash. And that's a beautiful thing, right? Say cash is king, right? I get it, right? Just depends on whether you want to lock up all your money. If that's their jam, then cool, they don't care. As long as it's all locked up and it's controlled by real estate and they're getting their positive cash flow, then they're fine, right? That makes sense. Their money's working for them. It's locking it up to a degree in an asset, but at least it's there. This other way, when you're getting started, okay, it is a different jam. Like I said, become a bird dog wholesaler, then you start fixing and flipping traditional hard money, and then start getting into, I need to figure out how to buy more properties with less money. I need to figure out how to do this creative real estate investing game, because that's what's on the table and that's what's popular at the end of the day. For me, I've always been like the late bloomer. I never followed the popular thing. I always just went with my gut and say, this is what I like, this is what I want, and this is what I'm going to do, right? Because I'm not here to live for you or live for others and all that other good stuff. You live for yourself, right? And for your family, and you do what you need to do, all right? And move forward, and don't take anybody's shit at the end of the day, which was kind of funny right now, because some of the buyers that were qualifying, right, are just, my God, geez, it's a trip, right? Where's the moral compass, right? Where are things going, man? And guys and gals, right? It's like, hey, do you know who I am? Nobody cares who you are at the end of the day, right? Nobody cares how many deals you've done, things of that nature, right? Nobody cares if you're an agent or a broker, right? At the bottom line, it's about mutual agreements, right? And being respectful to each other, understanding, not trying to tell you how to do your business, not trying to tell us or others how to do their business. Go with the process and have a meeting of the minds. That's real estate, meeting of the minds with seller and buyer. In this case, it's going to be whatever it is, seller and minds in business, period, right? It's not about the wannabe shark stuff or give me this, give me that, this, that. Nobody has the right to demand shit at the end of the day, right? It has to be respectful. It has to be, like I said, a meeting of the minds, common ground. And phone calls solve all that shit. Everybody wants to text. I get it. You can text a bunch of people and then get their hands raising up and then boom, 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 text. But then eventually you got to get on the phone, qualify the people you're working with, right? 7 out of maybe 100 are real buyers. The rest are wholesalers, people copy and pasters, and all that other good stuff. JVs, people trying to sell each other's deals. I get it. It's awesome. More power to you if you can get it done. But to eliminate all the noise and bullshit and confusion of stuff, right? We follow a simple protocol, right? NC&D, if you want to sign one, great. I learned the hard way. And then my mentor said, hey, if they're willing to sign that, perfect. That means if they're not willing to sign it, red flag. All that means that they're, either don't understand it or they're new or they're going to burn you. Those 3 things, that's it. And really all it is a non-disclosed, non-circumvent to share, right? To say, hey, look, we're not going to go around you, steal your deal. You're not going to go around us, steal our deal. We don't want your buyers and vice versa and all that good stuff. We just want to do deals with each other. And then you want the non-disclosed, right? Because we're going to share proprietary stuff, going to share private information with the buyer, the seller, and the buyer's going to share stuff with us and things of that nature that are private. People, not the world, doesn't need to know about, right? And at the same token, when you keep it private, that's what that agreement is. Agreements are done like that with every business, in the entertainment business, all kinds of stuff, right? Yes, they do have repercussions, right? Some people think, oh, you're going to lock me up. Lock you up for what? No, you don't work for each other. It's like a solid handshake that's on paper, black and white, right? To make sure that, hey, this happens, this can happen, right? So if you got ulterior motives, then don't sign it. That's what usually happens 9 times out of 10. Or they read it and don't understand it, or they read it and go, I don't know. I just don't get it. I'm not going to sign that. Well, that's cool. No problem. We don't need to do business together. Easy peasy, right? There's literally millions and millions and millions of people out there, right? There's tons of people, tons of agents, tons of brokers, tons of investors, tons of wholesalers, tons of people that want to get in the business, tons of people with some money. Doesn't matter. It's your rules. Our rules are our rules, and we follow them and we stick to them. We don't change them for anybody. Policy is procedure. And if we change it for you or others, then we got to change it for everybody. That's what's fair. So NC&D is super important. You don't need a confidentiality agreement. That's going to be something different if you're into sales or doing this, or you're coming aboard and they're working with you in your company. Maybe like as an acquisition person or dispo, and you want to make sure they're loyal, being loyal, right, and integrity. Loyalty and integrity are super important. Communication breakdown, and be repaired. The other 2 can't. And some people can live with it and other people just can't. I know we can't and we don't. So you got to have your policies and procedures, stick to them. Trust me, they will guide you and they will help you avoid a bunch of bullshit, red tape and roadblocks and all kinds of crazy shit as you move forward into this business. I say, hey, let somebody else deal with that knucklehead or knuckleheads, right, at the end of the day. And don't worry about it, right? Brush it off and move forward. It is what it is. People are going to be the way they're going to be. And people wake up in different moods every day. Maybe you caught them people on a bad day. Or maybe it's just the way it is. Personalities are just not there. They get it. It is what it is. But business is business. And not NC&D, right? That's just non-disclosed. It's not a non-compete. It's non-disclosed, non-circumvent. Get one signed and get a proof of funds. Some people go, oh, I don't want my proof of funds to be shopped. Well, that's what a phone call does, right? Simple phone call will tell me if you're experienced or not. Simple phone call will tell you if you think I'm experienced or not, right? And then you have the meeting of the minds again. Through text, you don't know. You can ask certain questions, and it's going to go back and forth, 20,000 text messages 2 or 3 days later, and you're going, shit, could have just did this on a phone call. You only get on the phone. It's like me. I only get on the phone after I know, hey, you're interested in something, you're interested in the deal, interested in coming aboard, interested in becoming a mentee, interested in after everybody's went through the qualifying process to a degree, then we get on the phone and see if we're going to be doing business together. That's the same thing. It's a little bit of a longer jam. Same thing with SUBTO. It's a little bit of a longer jam. Seller finance, a little bit of a longer jam, but it protects you. It's super powerful. And I suggest that, hey, go for it. Use it. If you need help with any of that, just reach out, DM, post stuff in here. You got deals. You're going, I'm not sure how to structure this. Post it in the group or just reach out to us and we'll help you with it in one capacity or another. Because this is what we do, is we love doing that stuff. I'm going to share something with you really quick. I believe it's posted up here right now. Let me see. I'm going to bring my mug on here. What are we in how many minutes? 35 minutes? Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and do this. And we'll go here. I think we'll do a refresh and take a look. This is pretty awesome. Either way, the Amazon, Walmart factory, or a factory somewhere out direction. It is now, right? Look at how huge that is. That's like 600 and click this if you want to make an offer. You can text 901-341-6629 for more information. If you have my direct number, go for it. It's an 805 number to go ahead and text. Join the SUBTO group. I'm going to go right here. It's a real estate show. If you're looking for deals and want to become a VIP buyer, you can go right here. Americans Helping Americans, new website that was relaunched, or it should be a refreshed one, a newer one, updated. That's at AmericansHelpingAmericans.net. One American at a time, one property at a time, one family at a time, doing our part to get America back on track together with you and others across the United States of America. I'm going to go ahead and put my mug right there so you can actually see my mug, see my eyes, and not see the little screen down there. And now I probably should do this in the beginning, right? But like I said, it's live and uncut, and now it's towards the end. So, you know, if you watched it all the way through, I congratulate you. That means you're hungry. You're wanting to do this business. You're listening. You're watching. And hopefully this gravitates towards you, and you're kind of understanding what this is about, or you're awesome and you're kicking ass anyways, right? And you're like, boom, let's do some business together. Let's do some business together, right? I want to say thank you to VIP Execs, right, for one of our sponsors, and Amp Live Media, another sponsor. And obviously those are our two that we keep on rocking and rolling. If something comes new or affiliate or something comes down the wire, definitely share it with you. give my 2 cents on all the prop stream batch and, CRMs and all that good stuff on another live. And we can go from there. I'll share that with you. We're about 40 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead and share this with you as well. Click that right there. I believe it's right there. Scan that and get into the group. I'm going to pop up a QR code for us real quick right here. This is going to be for the Facebook group, so you can scan this. And you're probably already in the group, so I'm not going to click that one. We got that one. Here we go. Register for free. You can go ahead and do that. Boom. Is it over there? Oh, the wrong one. Okay, so let's do this. Register for free right there. If you register for free, you can go ahead and do that. Click that. It's an Amp Live survey to see if we are a good fit. If we're a good fit, we can rock and roll and move into the one-on-one mentoring program. It's plug and play. We do deals and splits and all that good stuff, and you're never alone in this business. I guarantee you, if you show up to the party, you'll probably get a contract within the first 30, 60 days. It's not a race. It took me 4 months to get my first deal, to get something under contract. And I spent a lot more time, right, building up the websites and the scripts that I wanted to use and all kinds of stuff, the process, that was just me. And it's still me when I do stuff. Things are a little faster nowadays because we know more. But when you didn't know and you don't know, what you don't know is what you don't know, then it's a different jam, right? You kind of fail forward until God says, yeah, you're good to go. Keep on rocking and rolling. Now we're moving this way. We're moving that way. Let's go. And but I wanted my business to be perceived a certain way, and perception is reality at the end of the day. So that's what this is all about. I'm going to go ahead and pull something up here right now. If you're interested in the one-on-one mentoring program, you can scan that as well. It's right there. Scan that. It's the same Amp Live survey. I'm going to go ahead and bring something up real quick. This is what we're doing for 2023. Okay, 2023 in December. All we ask is everybody to come aboard, take care of the hard costs, right? Because as we take on more people, we have to hire more people, and then you take on the cost, and then the price does go up, or the hard costs go up every single year. Usually goes up about a third, and it keeps increasing. It's not because of inflation or anything like that. It's just because as we take on more, right, there's more stuff to do. You got more people, you got more things, and then we do have to, and then we're deciding, hey, do we want to keep it at that price point? Everybody's way up here, and we're like way down here, and everybody's just doing videos and PDFs and groups and coaching calls, and we're like doing stuff way up here, right, where we're working with people one-on-one. We're on the phone, we're working with you. 90% of the work's probably done by us and our team, right? It's plug and play. You're going to piggyback on AHA. You're going to get the marketing. You're going to plug into your own micro lead gen page. You're going to have one-on-one with us. All our resources are your resources. We're going to partner up and do deals, right? We're going to do splits. You get paid as a bird dog, wholesaler, JV, all these things, fix and flip. Your first deal might be a fix and flip. Your first deal might be a SUBTO deal. And you're going, how is that possible? All because we're going to help you construct those things, and we're going to move forward in that manner. And you're going to learn by muscle memory. You're not going to learn like a classroom and go, oh, okay, I'm going to take a test and do all this good stuff and study and memorize and blah, blah, blah. No, we get the gist of it. We get in, go belly to belly, get you trained, kind of like training a prize fighter, and get you used to hitting the bag, get you used to moving, boom, boom, boom. Then we get in the ring and we do some sparring, go back and forth. And then eventually when you're ready for a fight, ready to do deals, we unleash you and say, okay, now it's your first bout. Let's get in there and go kick some butt, right? And at the same token, we'll get in the ring with you. Kind of like wrestling and tag teaming, right? We'll get in and going to help you. We're going to be on the phone. We're going to be qualifying people with you. The mission is the submission. There's a bunch of beautiful stuff that we've been doing and have done and is battle tested over the years. And it works. Plain and simple, it works if you do it, right? If you follow protocol and you do it. I always say it's not a race. We'll go as fast or as slow as we need to go. And it's not a race, right? We won't move forward until you understand the concept. If you're not showing up to the party and you're not doing what needs to be done, then it's going to be hard to move forward, right? It's not that it's not working. It's just that you're not working. It's not that it failed. It's just that you failed because you're not showing up. Showing up is 90% of it, just like Cardone says, right? Show the hell up. If you show up, things happen. Things move, right? It's like you showed up to the party and things happen, right? With you and others. If you don't show up, then you never experience the party. You never experience other things that are going to happen if you would have went. So it's the same thing. You have to show up. You have to do this. This is for you. It's for your business. It's for your life, for your family. It's for your legacy. It's for you to build something. And we're here to help you build that because that is our true cause and mission, right? I'm a God-fearing man. I'll say it. I'm not a holy roller, but I believe in God, and that is my higher power. I do believe in America, and we do have one of the greatest countries in America still, in the world, I should say, still right now. And I'm glad to be here. I'm proud to be American, right? My family's proud to be American, and we want to help out. That's what we're here to do. At the same token, we know that helping others is helping us, and we're all helping each other. The cause is truly Americans helping Americans, one American at a time, one property at a time, one family at a time, doing our part, get America back on track together with you and others across the United States of America. And then AMP Live was born, the American Mentee program, the only program of its kind where we train and mentor others across the United States of America. One-on-one mentoring. Nobody does it. Plug and play. Muscle memory. And if you need videos, no problem. There's videos only after we go belly to belly and work together. When I mean belly to belly, is like this right here. We're going to work together. And it won't always be live like this, but we'll be on the phone right here. Boom. This is good enough. Trust me. By a lot of properties going back and forth to people throughout the United States, all they got to do is hear the voice. They can hear and see the inflections of the voice. They can see the smile. They understand what's on the other side because we're cordial and professional. There's a lot of investors that are out there going, oh, I'll buy your house. You're lucky I'm going to buy your house, right? You're lucky that I'm going to work with you. I got all the money. I'm the hero. It's the ego shit. Drop the damn ego. Take care of the client. Make some money, right? But there is a time and point where you have to be a little stern. Yeah, have a little ego, but a good ego, right? There's good egos and bad egos, right? The egos with the big old fucking head and stuff, that shit don't work. Trust me. Been there, done that. I used to play rock and roll and all that good stuff, and people, just come to you and, oh man, you're badass, all kinds of shit, and all kinds of, it blows people's heads up. Shit can happen, right? We're human beings, or whatever's happened in your life, or you become bitter and all kinds of stuff, right? If you're young, go after it. Grind now, shine later. You got nothing to lose. Get on it, rock and roll, do what you need to do. Drop the alcohol, drop the partying, drop the whining, drop the crying, get in, do what you need to do, read, study, get in your 20s. Shit, do it in your teens and then into your 20s. In your 30s and 40s, you'll probably be a multimillionaire. Guaranteed. If you focus on one thing long enough, you will become an expert. If you focus on one thing long enough, you will be successful. The thing that happens is that people give up and they give up and they give up and they get beat up and they get beat up. It's just not for me. Well, they didn't give it enough time. Or even if they did, you think people who are entertainers and they're in the music business or actors, they go, oh, wow, they just came out of nowhere. No, they're in the business for 20 years, 15 years, 10 years. Overnight sensations, probably 5 or 10 years, right? That's because it's probably positioned well or something, a lot of money or connections, nepotism, all that stuff happens too, right? Miley Cyrus, look at all them, right? They're born into that. If you're born into it and you got a show and all kinds of stuff and things will just roll. If you're coming out of the gate, right, wearing overalls and shit and poor as fuck, then that's a different jam, right? Different story. It's going to take longer. 5, 10, 15, 20 years to become an artist or an actor or whatever. Real estate, if you're in this business traditionally, in the traditional sense of an agent or broker, past 5 years, you'll be in this business for the rest of your life. Guarantee it. That means you're an expert. It takes 5 years to become an expert anyways, unless you're rocking and rolling and doing like 80, 90 hours a week. Right? Then that 10,000 hours, you probably get it done in 2.5. I will say this, when you have a mentor, it's priceless. That's what I had and others where I got to pick their brains, 40 years of experience and ask them stuff, right? And bring tremendous value to them so they keep me around, right? So they keep you around. That's what you need to do. Even if this is not a fit, that's my suggestion to you. If you want to go do something, go find those people and shit, work for free. Do whatever they say. Don't bitch and complain. There's people, oh, I got to drive over there. I got to do this. I got to do that. Good luck. They're going to tell you, don't waste my time, right? Right? Yeah, it's not being harsh. It's the truth. But people want to see. They want to be your cheerleader, right? They want to help you. People want to help each other and go, man, that person's awesome, man. They look at them. They just keep going. I wish them the best. Or if I can help you in any way, go for it. Thank you for doing certain things, right? Paying into the book of good, right? Paying into the bank of good, I should say, right? And knowing that you're not going to get paid back by those people, but it's all right. Maybe, God's going to bless you down the road. All right. So it is what it is. It can get frustrating. I get it. People, depressed and all that good stuff, right? And the holidays and things of that nature. But hopefully I enlighten your life. Hopefully you like the smiles. Hopefully PMA helps you rocking and rolling. Yes. Check out subject to existing financing, finding the deals. underwriting them, understanding how to put subject to existing financing, with the contract and addendum, then eventually putting the rest of your paperwork together. You can either have an attorney do it or you get escrow and title to help you with all that. But I don't suggest too much on that because there's certain things, if you do not do it right, then it could kick it out and the bank could foreclose quicker and faster. And those, due on sale clause and alienation clauses will erupt on you. If the property is put into a trust for legal and tax purposes, it's illegal for a bank to foreclose on you, right? That's what rich people do to protect their assets. They put them in a trust, right? They want to protect themselves from the attorneys and the, all that other ambulance chasers and all kinds of stuff, right? Or people trying to sue. Suing's overrated. Get over it. It's bullshit. It is what it is. Come on. Sometimes you can't squeeze blood out of a turnip, or it's just bullshit, frivolous bullshit that goes out there. I get it. But you want to protect yourself. You want to make sure when someone's signing something, they sign it 3 different ways. They understand it. Sign it this way, sign it that way, I sign it this way, I sign it that way. Hey, you know what exactly you signed, right? Unless you can't read or you can't understand or you can't read the language, right? Or you can't speak or something, then that's totally different. But then there's disclosures for that, right? It says, hey, there's no gun to your head. You're not on medication. You're selling the property at a discount. You know exactly what's happening. Boom, 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 boom. About 10, 20, 30 different disclosures on 2 different pages, notarized and signed by the seller. Beautiful, beautiful thing. I should have been an attorney, but I didn't think I was going to be able to do that, right? And I just didn't boring, engineer, boring. And don't take it personal if I say some things and you are that, right? It's just for me. Other people are different, right? But I think it's awesome being an attorney. I think it's awesome if you're an engineer. You got the engineer brain, smarter than shit, right? But you're into a lot of analytics and things of that nature. There are certain people that are not really geared for real estate or people, right? I won't say what professions they are, right? But that's just from experience and working with people and then seeing what happens and seeing how they think, reading between the lines, right? And things of that nature, seeing the forest through the trees when you're speaking with people and open-ended questions, you're going, wow, that type of person who likes this type of job is not going to make it, right? It's just unless they start reframing the brain and they start reading books like this, right? 17 Principles of Success, right? The 17 Principles of Personal Achievement, Napoleon Hill's Keys to Success. I recommend this as a business Bible. Pick it up, read it, study it, make it part of your core, right? But first read Think and Grow Rich. That's the base. And you got to read that a certain way. I'll give you a tip on that maybe down the road. But pick up this book and use it as a reference guide, right? To keep you, fire you up. Use those words to fuel your mind because 99% of this business is mindset, right? You can get beat up very easily. You can hear people shit or people listen to people shit and listen to the chatter and the noise, and it'll fuck you all up. Plain and simple, right? So you got to keep on staying positive even when you don't want to be positive, and throw good vibes out there when you're doing deals so you can stay positive and close stuff and make stuff happen and help other people and things of that nature. I know it sounds like, kumbaya shit, right? Because it's not always like that. Life is life. Life is controlled chaos. Life will throw shit at you, right? But if you're always thinking of shit, then all you're going to get is shit. So you got to think about good stuff, think about awesome stuff. And then eventually those things start coming to you. But then you got to get out so you can bring them to you, bring the universe to you, right? And all those good things, including money, right? Because money just helps you do more things. All right, so it's almost turning into a Sunday sermon rant, but subject to one-on-ones, very simple. You get in there, you buy it subject to existing financing, you put all the terms in an addendum, and along with your special clauses and things of that nature, get that all signed up, and then more paperwork comes down the wire with the disclosures, the trust, the agreement, more agreements, and you go ahead and get all those things done, right? Once you get all those things done, then you're going to go what? You're going to go record it, yeah. Go to the county assessor, get that stuff recorded. So now you have in your trust and your LLC is now owning a piece of $100, $200, $300, $1 million, $2 million, $10 million property. Do what you need to do. Now you have an asset. You have a bag of gold that you can turn into money. You can go borrow against it. You can use it as leverage to bring investors to the table. You have something now. It's more powerful than just a contract and escrow, right? It's more powerful than just, see what else we got. You can do seller finance. That's cool too, right? Get that into SUBTO first and then go find your buyer and then roll it into a seller finance. Or if you're doing it simultaneously, going, boom, no problem. SUBTO, buyer, seller finance, get it all done, move on. Everybody gets paid. You get paid at the closing table, right? Put in the demand letter or your assignment agreement of some sort. You go, how do I sign a SUBTO deal? Can I go SUBTO and record all those documents and still sell it? Of course you can. All right, we'll get into that maybe on another video. But pick my brain. Go ahead and pick our brains. Click the links down below. Share some information. Share your stories. Share the horror stories and the good ones and the bad ones. Trust me, I got horror stories too, right? Of just bad people, people that do certain things, things you learn from, and then you correct them and make them part of your policies and procedure, right? To go ahead and say, we'll never do that again. And let's make sure we protect ourselves with some disclosures, with some waivers, with some clauses, right? Because the magical thing here is become a contract and a clause freak, and you will rock, right? Nobody will be able to penetrate your ass if you do those things, okay? So rock and roll and all what you do. I'm going to sign off here. I'll probably come back a little bit later. It's getting ready for a little bit of chow and some some food because I'm starving. And yeah, some more freaking coffee, some more water to flush that shit out. And then keep on rocking and rolling. Tomorrow I'll be back for Friday highlights, okay? So I might be at an undisclosed location, or it might just be here, right here in the studio, to go ahead and just come back and say Friday highlights, what's going on, the pulse of real estate, what type of deals are rocking and rolling, what type of crazy stories are happening. We'll see what happens and see what I come up with. And then Saturday, we're going to do some training. We're going to be out in the field. We're going to be rocking and rolling. We're going to be talking to sellers. If you want to be part of that, may do it inside this SUBTO group, as well as the Creative Real Estate Investing group with Amp Live and myself, Erick Paul, as your host for the Amp Live Real Estate Show. We'll be rocking and rolling with you. We want to rock and roll with you into Christmas time. Let's do some deals. Into New Year's, let's rock and roll. 2024 is around the freaking corner, right? So let's rock into a new cycle. Let's rock into a new year. Don't forget to vote the right people in. And your vote does count. So a lot of people think it doesn't. I'm not going to get political, but make sure, right? Because, hey, it is what it is. Maybe you might want to get into politics and change it, right? If so, man, depending on if you're on the same wavelength, yeah, I'll vote for you. All right. Anyways, rock and roll at all what you do. Keep on rocking and rolling. Click those links down below. We will talk to you soon. I'm going to sign off here. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, I almost forgot. Let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to put this right back on here. Excuse me. Scan that code right there. Oops. Sorry about that. Let me put it back. All right. Scan that code right there to come aboard our one-on-one mentoring program. Right now, take advantage of that for 2023, because in 2024, it's going up a third. And it'll continue to go up, right? Or at least, or we may scrap it. Who knows, right? Say, you know what? We're done with that. We're going to go to the ATM stuff, to the coaching. We're going to do what everybody else is doing, because they're making tons of money. Let's rock and roll, let's go jump on that boat, right? But then I want to be able to sleep at night. So the rock and roll, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. Click that QR code. Let's rock and roll. Let's chat. Let's